สวัสดีค่ะ Thank you for joining us on Newsline. We are broadcasting live on NBT, Radio Thailand FM 88, and on NBT World. It's Friday, January the 22nd, and you're with me, Tra Thirakosan. Welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. In our first story, the Prime Minister has affirmed that investigations are being conducted into reports of Islamic State or IS movement in southern Thailand. According to the reports, individuals linked with the movement have entered Thailand via Narathiwat province in the south in order to speak with religious leaders. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha insists that authorities are currently working to verify the information. Regardless, he said that the government and related units will continue to maintain tight security measures in all areas. The Premier admitted some information needed to be kept confidential for security reasons, noting that issues surrounding the issue must be handled carefully as they could draw Thailand into global conflicts. As for the southern unrest, General Prayut said that the overall situation is improving while asking all local residents for their involvement in peace efforts. The commander of the 4th Army Region has ordered all units in the 3 southern border provinces to intensify their operations in accordance with the security plan. The government has been expediting its efforts to tackle land encroachment as well as allocate land to impoverished citizens, affirming that the authorities have been operating fairly with the public's interests at heart. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha presided over a launch ceremony for the project to consolidate the government's land appropriation plan into a single map. The event was attended by provincial governors and related officials in order to understand the implications of long-term solutions to land management and prevent further land encroachment without violating the people's land rights in the process. The Prime Minister urged all agencies to adhere to the government's new map in order to effectively manage land appropriation and to prevent corruption, encroachment, and legal conflicts between the people and state agencies. Over the course of this year, the government plans to restore forest land to 40% of the country from 32% at present. General Prayut stressed that the preparation of the map must adhere to international principles and be accepted by all sides without benefiting a specific group. Naval Civil Affairs Department Director General Vice Admiral Adirek Chompunut has led a team of officials to meet fishers in Krabi province from January 20th until 21st as part of the NCAD's Meets the Public campaign. The event features exhibitions, music performances, mobile health care services, the distribution of sports and learning equipment to students, and a discussion on eliminating the act of illegal fishing. NCAD aims to help solve these issues that are affecting the nation's fisheries through proper and sustainable management while gaining valuable input from fishers themselves and giving moral support. The issues of illegal, unreported, and unregulated or IUU fishing in Thailand are among the government's main concerns. After receiving a yellow card from the EU, the Thai government has launched a multi-pronged campaign against IUU fishing in the kingdom's waters. Let's take a look at this special report.
On November 14, 2015, the Fisheries Act BE 2558 was enacted. There were quite a few changes compared to the previous act to further improve the rules. The first fisheries law of Thailand was the Fisheries Act BE 2490. It was adopted for the purpose of freshwater fishing rather than fishing at sea. Since then, there has been no other Fisheries Act at all. There were only some amendments made over the old version. Eventually, Thailand has officially adopted the latest Fisheries Act BE 2558. The draft law has been initiated since 1999.
ซึ่งทำให้บทบัญญัติต่างๆรายละเอียดต่างๆเนี่ยอาจจะไม่สอดคล้องกับภาวะปัจจุบันนี้นะครับที่เราดำเนินการอยู่ในเรื่อง IUU เพราะว่าเมื่อ10 กว่าปีที่ผ่านมาไม่มีใครรู้จักว่า IUU คืออะไรนะครับเพราะ IUU เพิ่งจะเกิดขึ้นมาไม่กี่ปีนี้เองเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยพระราชบัญญัติการประมง258ที่ออกไปก็เลยยังไม่สอดคล้องกับแนวปฏิบัติในทางระหว่างประเทศในเรื่อง IUU นะครับมันมีกรอบโครงสร้างกฎหมายซึ่งไม่สามารถที่จะปรับแก้ไขได้มากนะถ้าจะปรับก็คือมีการแก้ไขเยอะมากๆนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นการยกร่างใหม่เนี่ยจะง่ายกว่า
Currently, the 12 subsidiary legislations related to the ministerial regulations, which are significant for the implementations, are completed. Other subsidiary legislations were due to be completed at the end of December last year.
ก่อนที่เราจะยกร่างกฎหมายออกมาเป็นพระราชกำหนดเนี่ยแล้วก็ได้ส่งทีมทั้งทางกรมประมงแล้วก็ทางสปปผเนี่ยโดยคณะกฎหมายก็เข้าไปร่วมดูแล้วก็ไปหารือกับประเทศที่มีปัญหาเหล่านี้รวมทั้งได้เอากฎหมายอันคลอสหรือพระราชบัญญัติกฎหมายระหว่างประเทศอื่นๆที่เกี่ยวข้องกับเรือและการประมงเนี่ยเข้ามาดู
ทุกอย่างต้องอยู่ในกรอบกติกาเราก็คงไม่ควรที่จะเสี่ยงเล่นนอกกติกานะครับอันนี้ก็เพื่อความสมบูรณ์มั่งคั่งที่ยั่งยืนซึ่งเป็นผลประโยชน์ของชาติทางทะเลที่สำคัญประการหนึ่งครับ
The public, private, and civil sectors have signed an agreement to develop Thai vocational education and achieve concrete results within 2 years. Deputy Prime Minister Somkit Chatusipitak, Education Minister General Dapong Ratana Suwan, CEO of SCG Rungrod Rangsiyopat, President of the Thailand Professional Qualification Institute General Lerrat Ratana Wanit, and representatives of more than 13 leading organizations on Thursday signed the agreement to develop the quality of vocational education to increase its competitiveness in the global market. Mr. Somkit said the agreement was in line with a resolution of the Public-Private Economic Steering Committee. He added that the agreement was expected to help reduce inequality in Thailand, raise the standards of human resources, and increase competitiveness. The agreement sets a 2-year time frame for the creation of excellence in vocational education. The results will be evaluated and adopted for the country's development in the future. General Dapong said the Ministry of Education was ready to raise the standards of Thai vocational education to international levels by cooperating with foreign countries. The Ministry of Commerce will cooperate with all sectors in penetrating important markets as part of its policy to stimulate exports in 2016. The ministry has forecast that Thai exports will be able to hit a 5% growth this year. Minister of Commerce Apiradi Tantraporn said that Deputy Prime Minister Somkit Chatusipitak had set the Thai export growth target at 5% with a focus on high-potential markets, including China, India, Japan, the U.S., and ASEAN. She said the ministry would also focus on boosting border trade and e-commerce and bringing Thai agricultural products to the global market. The minister added that the private sector wanted the government to help develop Thai brands and asked the Export-Import Bank of Thailand to consider increasing financial assistance for SMEs, such as by raising loan limits and credit guarantees. The National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, has reached a unanimous vote to endorse a draft amendment on bankruptcy law. During the NLA sitting on Thursday, the legislature deliberated a draft amendment on bankruptcy law which was proposed by the cabinet. Justice Minister General Paibun Kumchaya told the meeting that the draft was written to help revive small and medium-sized enterprises, or SMEs, so that struggling businesses will be able to resume their operations without having to remain bankrupt. General Paiboon added that SMEs which will be covered by this amended law must be registered with the Office of Small and Medium Enterprises Promotion and have a debt of not more than 3 million baht. The NLA voted unanimously to approve the draft amendment and set up a 15-member committee to work out the final details within 60 days. The Constitution Drafting Commission, or CDC, has been preparing to provide clarification of the draft charter to the public. CDC spokesman Chachai Natchingmai said that the charter drafters have continued reviewing individual sections of the new draft constitution to verify its wording and coherence among different sections, while making any necessary additions. Mr. Chachai said that the CDC has agreed with a suggestion from Chief Advisor of the Democrat Party, Chun Lik-pai, about the extension of voting hours to 5 p.m. from the usual closing hour of 3 p.m. in order to facilitate the voters and use of modern technology. The spokesperson added that the CDC meeting also discussed reports of movements by political parties to oppose the draft charter. The Commission agreed to listen to more opinions and step up efforts to clarify any doubts about the draft charter. The Election Commission, or EC, has launched an application called Dao Nua, or North Star, to provide maps of polling stations and other pertinent information in preparation for the public referendum for the draft constitution this year. EC Commissioner Somchai C. Sutiyakon unveiled the application, which will be available via smartphones and tablets to provide convenience to eligible voters in finding lists of candidates, polling stations, and relevant maps. Mr. Somchai said that the EC took 1 year to develop the application. Its name is a reference to the use of the North Star as a navigational aid, but for polling stations. He believes that the application will be of convenience to voters and encourage a larger turnout. He also revealed that the EC is planning on releasing other voting-related applications, such as Ta Saparot, or pineapple eyes, for voters to report signs of illegal activities, and Chalat Ru, or knowledgeable, which will provide information on important provisions of the draft constitution. The Dao Nua application is now available for download on Android and iOS systems. The Public Relations Department, or PRD, has unveiled a new statue at the National News Bureau of Thailand, or NNT, in celebration of the department's 18th year anniversary. PRD Director General Apinan Chantarangsi presided over the event to welcome the new statue and commemorate 18 years since the founding of the government's Public Relations Department. He said the news program, NBT World, has been working in accordance with the Prime Minister's policy by extending Thai content to international audiences.
NBT World is one of Thailand's reliable most news channels. After the launch of the AEC at the end of December, communication has been considered vital not only within 10 ASEAN nations but worldwide. NBT World, which broadcasts in English, helps to promote better understanding among Thais and foreigners at the national and international levels. Recently, the Public Relations Department has cooperated with TGN and AOT to extend NBT World content to broader audiences. Now, NBT World reaches viewers in 177 countries. NBT World is working in line with the Prime Minister's policy, which encourages the general public to develop their English language skills in order to compete with Thailand's counterparts within the ASEAN region and beyond.
The statue depicts one of the 12 guardian deities in Buddhism known as Indra blowing a conch. This is the second such statue made for the PRD. The first statue is housed at the PRD headquarters off Soi Ari Sampan. In Buddhist lore, the statue used the conch as a horn to announce the return of Buddha from heaven to earth. The image of Indra blowing the conch is used on the department's emblem as a symbol of bringing news and information to the people. The event was held at the NNT headquarters on Phetchaburi Road, where 9 monks were invited to perform Buddhist rituals and accept food offerings to make merit. And that's the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Up next in ASEAN News, the Department of Skill Development is moving to enhance labor capacities to support the AEC market. But first, let's have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
Should gifts of bounty fill the trawler still, I dance in thanks to thee.
The Department of Skill Development has accelerated its efforts in educating businesses on enhancing labor capabilities to support the opening of the AEC market. The department held a seminar on labor capabilities according to the Skill Development Promotion Act of 2002 to educate employers and enterprises about the details of the legislation and laws that incentivize the development of skilled labor. Minister of Labor General Sirichai Ditthakul remarked that under a free market such as the AEC, investment and labor mobility will increase, which can either be an opportunity or a challenge for the Thai private sector. The development of skilled labor is one of the government's strategic priorities to strengthen the country's competitiveness in trade and investment. The government has also provided more tax incentives for businesses that give priority to the development of skilled labor. Elsewhere around the world, an airstrike by a Saudi-led coalition fighting in Yemen killed at least 9 people at an oil facility on the Red Sea operated by its Houthi opponents. A news agency run by the Saudi-backed Yemeni government, worldwideweb.sabanew.net, put the death toll at 16, quoting an unnamed source. It said the cause of the fire was not known. Medical sources in the nearby port city of Hodeidah said the attack on the facility at Ras Isa, which local oil workers said was used to load tanker trucks with refined products for domestic distribution, also wounded at least 30. No shipments have left there since the coalition of Arab states launched a military campaign in March last year in support of President Abd Rabbu Mansur Hadi against the Iran-allied Houthis. The United Nations says nearly 6,000 people have been killed in the fighting, which began after the Houthis advanced on the southern port city of Aden, where Hadi had been based. Hundreds of thousands have been displaced. A bomb attack killed at least 7 people, including 3 policemen, near a road leading to the pyramids in Cairo's suburb of Giza. The bomb exploded as the police arrived in their vehicles in front of a building where suspected militants were hiding, according to security sources. 13 people were wounded. The Interior Ministry issued a statement saying the bomb had been planted by Muslim Brotherhood militants and went off when security forces tried to raid the building. Islamist militants have stepped up attacks on Egyptian soldiers and police since the army toppled President Mohamed Morsi of the Muslim Brotherhood in 2013, after mass protests against his rule. Civilians have also been killed. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Just simply type in NNT or check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/en. We're going to say goodbye now with footage of the 7 dog breeds that will compete at the upcoming Westminster Dog Show. I'm Thra Thirakosan. Have a wonderful day. Sawasdee ka.